You've got questions and we've got answers. There are so many important things around EVs, around Tesla, around the coming transition to a slightly cleaner world, and we are here to answer them one and all, joined by my good buddy Mark from the Tesla Life podcast. Head over there, see what they're up to. They also live streamed the big event. I hope you got a chance to check out their stream at some point, but mine is going to have been, because we're recording this beforehand, stressful and long, and it's gonna be a hoot.
It's gonna be like a Casey and Friends episode.
Oh, well, the beauty is, 2.5 hours into it, we get to take a break and enjoy the presentation. Have lunch. I don't know, whatever it is humans do, whatever makes sense. So, Mark, we asked viewers, hey, got any questions? And they had a few answers. I don't know if you had a chance to check out the video. You were in it. What did you say about a cyber generator? So that was in the title. Now, worth mentioning, I don't always write the titles. I wrote this title because I was talking about power backup from the Cybertruck and the Lightning helping out in hurricane season. That's a cyber generator, isn't it? What do you call it?
I think you were going on something else there, Brian. A cyber generator. That sounds like a clickbait title. I think so.
I don't know how to condense down 5 topics into something that fits in one title.
Titles are a tough thing, but cyber generator, Cybertruck and generator, that works.
How much does a Powerwall cost? Do you know? Powerwall.
Powerwall, I think about $8,000.
Okay, I'm seeing from this month about $6,000. And how much power do you get with it? Not that much, right?
14 and a half. 14.
Okay, so which would you rather buy? At 10 Powerwalls or one Cybertruck and get free 10 Powerwalls.
Exactly.
That's a good deal. You can drive your Powerwalls around, free truck included. Very, very fun and very honest of me. So,
yep.
Yeah. Hey, can Tesla build a car with one seat that travels 1,200 miles on a single charge at 55 miles an hour? This is the real question for those who do not stop on road trips. The demand is indeed clearly through the roof for this product. Tesla could sell dozens of this car at any price, as long as the price is under $60,000. You see those people.
This relates back to that previous question about if the car does all these things, I will buy it. And it's like, come on, you can't do all these things and expect the car to sell like that. You're building a case for you specifically, and you are not the entire market, no matter how many cars you buy. So,
and they're not being honest. BYD has a new hybrid out with an astounding range. Have you seen it?
Yes.
1,300 miles. Well, I assume that will be the best-selling car in the world. And when it isn't, because it won't be, can we put to bed the myth that the only thing that matters to me is the ability to drive halfway across the country? I mean, I need to drive for 20, 25 hours straight with just jugs and jugs of my own. So I don't think that that's an important factor.
No, 1,200 miles without stopping that just doesn't make sense.
It's a bit far. Hey, have you seen this? This wasn't a question that came up, but this is a question I have for you folks in the comments. If you like, by the way, us answering your questions, ask us anything. This is, this is Giga, Texas. Beautiful, right? They're getting the last bits of glass up over on the east side corner. But my question, someone had asked Tesla, hey, are you going to replace the solar panels so that it spells Tesla on a larger space? And they said, no, that's crazy. But what I think is they need to add something to the end. You've got all this extra word space. You can fit another character in there. What are you going to put in? What would you put here?
Exclamation mark.
I think an exclamation point is good. Maybe a poop emoji's a little too hard to spell. It's, I don't know.
Or really,
Eggplant?
really confuse the people up in the air looking down at it. Put a question mark at the end. Is that the Tesla
I,
building? Is that the Tesla building? I'm not sure.
I'm Ron Burgundy. Now, one of the more pressing questions, and this isn't just for the show, this is for life. This is for the transition generally. Is a real lemon tree okay? Guys talking about my lemon tree up here is what I think's going on. And to answer your question, you can technically grow a lemon tree anywhere, but not inside without lighting, not without grow lights in my carriage house. So that's not. But
Yeah,
yes, I would.
because when Brian leaves the studio, the lights go off. So that's not good for lemon trees. No.
And I use, super efficient lighting that would absolutely not nourish a plant. So yeah, it's real lemon trees, to answer your question, are okay. I just don't have one. Now, this is a little more challenging. A little birdie told me that buildings and even factories are burning down all over China. If true, what steps will Tesla take to reduce the chance of a factory fire? So I am not familiar with that bird. I have looked up to try and find fires, and the only ones I'm finding, because Chinese news media is pretty restrictive, are ones that are published by organizations that have a political intent to be anti-China. I don't know if you've ever seen the compilation of car fires and BYDs are burning up left and right. And then they show a bunch of cars that are not BYDs. And then they also show a clip from a movie. And then they show a clip from a natural gas powered car where the canister blew. If you're going to
hard to
yeah.
beat proof like that, really. It's tough. Yeah, it's tough to beat proof like that.
It is. It is very hard because you started with a lie. If those fires were common, why you wouldn't include ones that are clearly not the right thing. So I'm not familiar with factories having problems. I know that Ford has had a fire or two at their factory. We know Rivian had a fire outside of its factory. But and I think Tesla had a fire outside, like in a waste pile or something years ago.
Yep.
I'm not aware of a fire that has occurred inside of a Tesla factory, despite making more EVs in their history than anyone else in the world. Certainly more than 100 companies combined from the bottom half of the pool. So what do you think they are doing to mitigate fire risks?
I imagine it's regular fire maintenance issues, such as sprinkler systems, where there is a possibility of combustion on a regular basis. I imagine that they have trained staff to handle the first part of fires, and of course, they have mitigated some of this, of course, with actual fire departments telling them what to do, how to set things up, how to have access to the fire departments if something is to happen, the quickest way into the plant, ways to get the fire under control faster. All these things are done in order to for responsible companies to make sure that their assets don't go up in flames.
All correct answers as far as I can tell. The big thing I saw when there was the landing mishap for SpaceX and it broke a leg, tipped over, blew up. I saw someone ask me, why isn't there an active fire suppression system on the deck of the drone ship on which it landed? The answer is the drone ship ain't flammable. So that's where we start. What are the fires? What are the factories made out of? Fireproof stuff, steel and concrete and glass. So that also helps reduce the risk of fire. Oh, good times. So, again, you guys, if you got questions, boop them in the comments. We will get to them. I did want to share this one. This isn't a question. We only had 4 questions. I answered them all, unless you left a question that did not include a question mark. Those are harder to find. There's a spider on my camera. That's not funny, but how you reacted was, you're a nut. quite a few
Ah,
comments.
yes, the
Quite a few.
spider. Yeah.
Yeah.
The arachnophobia episode. I remember it well.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I tried to share this anecdote the other day in a video, and unfortunately, that was a video I did with Randy Kirk, whose sense of humor is perhaps not as developed as yours. But I'll just tell you, we hear a lot of myths, and it's our job to dispel some of those myths, especially about spiders. And some of the myths about spiders. I don't know if you've heard this one, but apparently it's not true that the average person, while they're sleeping in a given year, eats 8 pounds of spiders.
Oh, come on. 8
It's
pounds.
I think that's what it was 8 pounds.
8 pounds. That's an awful lot of spiders.
I think it was 8 pounds, Mark. Somebody fact checked me in the comments. Is that what it was?
Guys,
it turns
no
out.
Way. There's no
Are you
way
sure?
people eat in a year.
Are you sure?
I think I remember eating 8 pounds of spiders.
In the comments, somebody fact check me, because I think it is true. I read that it's not, but that was a common myth. That was a common misconception. Gosh. It sounds like a lot, considering each spider probably weighs like half a gram. But
I dare you to call this episode 8 pounds of spiders.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the comments, what was the name of this video? Is that clickbait? We'll find out. We'll find out, because next week's comments will be a doozy. Oh, you guys, thank you so much for being here and your support. Like, subscribe, do all the usual. Stay tuned and juicy, and I cannot wait to hear from you, clever robots, on the next one.